What determines where we reincarnate? Welcome back, everyone, to Mind Podcast. Have you ever wondered where people come from and where they will go? This is a mysterious question with different answers depending on one's beliefs and perspectives. For those who believe in deities, humans only truly begin to exist once created by divine beings. Each person's life journey is a unique adventure, and after death, they are judged based on their beliefs and way of living. Good people ascend to heaven, while those who have lived poorly must descend to hell to face eternal punishment. On the other hand, scientists have a different perspective. They believe that human existence begins at conception through natural causes. Life is a series of experiences and learning, and when death comes, existence ends completely. There is no heaven or hell, only the end of a natural life. So what do you believe? Let's explore further in this video. Buddhism rejects both of these explanations because they raise profound moral issues. Life is not a commercial transaction. If a benevolent deity truly created each person, how can we explain why so many children are born with severe deformities? Another issue is the notion of eternal suffering in hell for actions committed in one short lifetime. This is fundamentally unfair. 60 or 70 years are not enough to warrant eternal punishment, nor is it enough to deserve eternal happiness in heaven. The second explanation, though more understandable, still leaves many unanswered questions. How can a complex phenomenon like consciousness arise and develop from just two cells, an egg and a sperm? Today, psychology is regarded as a branch of science, and with phenomena like telepathy, can science convincingly explain it through a materialistic model? Buddhism offers us a deeper and more meaningful explanation of the origin and destination of human life. According to this view, when we die, our mind, with all of its desires, perceptions, and character, is reshaped within the womb in preparation for a new life. Then, we are born once more, and our personality and consciousness develop based on inherited traits from previous lives and the influence of the new material environment. Human character transforms and grows through mental effort and elements such as education, parental influence, and society. And once again, when facing death, we will reincarnate, reshaping ourselves in the womb, ready for a new cycle of life. This process, according to Buddhist philosophy, is called samsara and continues until the conditions that create it, especially attachment and ignorance, cease. When liberation is achieved, human consciousness moves from the cycle of samsara to the state of nirvana, the ultimate goal and ideal of Buddhist existence. How does consciousness move from one body to another in this way? Think of the radio waves of a receiver. The waves emitted from a broadcasting station are not just voices and music. They are energy with various frequencies traveling through space and received by a radio, which then converts them into voices or music. Similarly, in Buddhist philosophy, when we die, the mental energy leaves the deceased body and floats in space. It then enters the mother's body, ready for the next cycle of reincarnation. When the newborn's first cry emerges, that energy concentrates in the brain, gradually developing into a new individual. Are we always reborn as humans? Likely not, because there are various realms one can be reborn into. Some of us might be reborn in heavenly realms, others in hell, and some in the realm of hungry ghosts. Heaven is not a physical place, but a state of existence where beings have subtle forms and consciousness, experiencing happiness and comfort. In some religions, people strive for piety to be reborn in heaven, mistakenly believing this state to be eternal. However, like all phenomena, heavenly realms are also impermanent, and when one's lifespan ends, beings may reincarnate as humans. Hell, likewise, is not a physical place, but a state of existence where beings have subtle forms and consciousness, often experiencing anxiety, pain, and sorrow. The realm of hungry ghosts is also a state of existence, often described as spirits plagued by insatiable hunger and thirst, constantly suffering from unfulfilled desires. Thus, beings in heaven generally experience happiness, while those in hell and the realm of hungry ghosts endure suffering. Beings in the human realm often experience a combination of both. The main difference between the human realm and other realms lies in the subtlety of the body and the quality of experiences. What is samsara? Where do people come from? Samsara is the continuous cycle of birth and death. Nothing completely disappears. Everything continues in one form or another. For example, clouds turn into rain, rain becomes water, water is a continuation of rain, rain is a continuation of clouds, and clouds are the continuation of the sun's heat and water from lakes, rivers, and seas. This continuity is called samsara. However, don't look for any specific form. Don't get caught by appearances. If one is entangled by appearances, one will fail to recognize continuity. Looking at rain, one should see the clouds. This is seeing with the eyes of formlessness. The French scientist Lavoisier said that nothing is lost entirely, and that is exactly correct. At least three things are eternal: thought, speech, and action. In Buddhism, these are called body, speech, and mind. Mind refers to thought, speech refers to language, and body refers to action. Every thought bears the mark of its thinker. Thoughts may carry malice, prejudice, craving, or anger. When such a thought arises, it bears the imprint of its owner, which cannot be. That thought instantly circulates, permeating its owner and influencing others. Words and actions carry power and imprint. Words, like actions, hold the power and mark of the speaker. When we speak words that lack kindness, are meaningless, or stir up doubt and hatred, we bear responsibility for their consequences. Such words can harm the soul and damage relationships, leaving a negative imprint. On the other hand, a kind word can mend relationships, inspire trust in the future, and bring positivity, creating a virtuous continuation from the speaker. Our actions follow a similar path. A kind act that protects life and repairs relationships leaves a positive imprint, continuing good deeds. But if our actions cause division, violence, or destruction, they lead to negative consequences, perpetuating a cycle of harm. This is the cycle of human reincarnation. Every word and action has the power and responsibility to influence both the present and future. Where do people come from? In the scriptures, the Buddha taught that people are reborn in 6 realms: hell, the realm of hungry ghosts, animal, human, asuras, demigods, and heaven. In the first realm, a person reincarnated from heaven may carry radiant beauty and noble virtues, having exhausted their blessings in the heavenly realm, but retaining enough virtue to be reborn as a human. In the second realm, a person reincarnating from the Asura realm may have great merit but a quick-tempered nature. In the third, a person with high virtue who refrains from killing, stealing, and deceitful desires lives righteously and is reborn as a sincere and honest human. In the fourth realm, those reborn from the animal realm may still be affected by ignorance, struggling to understand truth despite escaping the animal realm. In the fifth, those reborn from the realm of hungry ghosts may have a miserly spirit, reluctant to spend or engage in good deeds. Lastly, those reincarnating from hell often face illness, physical deformities, and hardships, reflecting the consequences of past wrong actions. What determines our rebirth? The most significant, though not exclusive, factor influencing rebirth and how we live in different realms is karma. Karma, meaning action, refers to intentional actions. In other words, our current situation is largely the result of what we have thought or done in the past. Likewise, what we think and do in the present sows the seeds for our future fate. Those who cultivate compassion and kindness are often reborn in heavenly realms, or as humans with greater happiness. Conversely, those who live with worry, fear, or cruelty tend to be reborn in hellish conditions, or as humans in impoverished, suffering circumstances. Those who nurture desires, attachments, and unfulfilled ambitions are likely to be reborn as hungry ghosts, or as humans constantly disturbed by craving and clinging, causing suffering. Strong habits developed in this life continue in the next. Thus, how we live and act shapes not only our current life, but also defines our future across lives. Can we change our fate if our life is not entirely determined by karma? Of course, we can. One part of the Noble Eightfold Path is right effort, which means genuine and continuous effort. This depends on each person's sincerity, level of effort, and perseverance in changing and strengthening mental habits. Many people spend their lives influenced by past habits without trying to change, thus becoming victims of unwanted consequences. Those who do not correct bad habits will continue to live in suffering. In contrast, a knowledgeable Buddhist will strive to prevent unwholesome habits and develop wholesome ones to bring about positive results. Meditation is one of the most effective methods to regulate the mind, control our words and actions. Through meditation, we can recognize bad habits and gradually change them. This change not only improves our present life, but also opens the door to a brighter future. Efforts to transform oneself are the path to liberation from suffering and achieving lasting happiness. The life of a Buddhist practitioner is a journey of cultivation to purify and liberate the soul. For example, if our mind was marked by patience and kindness in a previous life, these qualities will reappear in our current life. As these mental states are reinforced and developed, they become even stronger in future lives. This is based on the fact that mental states firmly established over time are hard to change. If our mind is naturally patient and kind, it becomes difficult for others to disturb us, and we are less likely to feel irritated or hateful. Instead, we are loved and respected by many. Take another example. When we are born with a patient and gentle nature, it is due to the mental qualities passed down from previous lives. However, if in our current life we become indulgent and fail to nurture these good qualities, they will gradually fade, weaken, and eventually disappear. Negative traits like irritability, anger, and aggression may then grow strong, leading to challenging situations and troubles. Now consider another scenario. Due to a mental state in a previous life, we come into this world with a tendency toward irritability and resentment. But if we soon realize that such bad habits only bring trouble and difficulties, we can resolve to transform ourselves, spread positive emotions, and become compassionate and gentle. When we can entirely remove these bad habits through genuine effort, we avoid the negative emotions and problems caused by irritability, hatred, and aggression. Thus, we succeed in changing our circumstances in life. Even if we cannot completely transform, reducing these negative tendencies means they will reappear in the next life, giving us another chance to work on them. Eventually, unpleasant circumstances will no longer disturb us, and life will become more peaceful and serene. What proves that we will reincarnate after death? There is not only scientific evidence supporting the Buddhist belief in reincarnation, but it is also the only theory with concrete evidence about life after death. No evidence affirms the existence of heaven, and certainly nothing proves that death is an absolute end. Over the past 30 years, parapsychologists have studied numerous reports of people who vividly remember their previous lives. In England, there's a case of a child who remembers a past life. In England, a 5-year-old child claimed to remember different parents and described events that seemed to have happened in someone else's life. These details were verified as accurate. There indeed was a village in Spain with the name the child mentioned, a house matching the description on a road named as the child described, and furthermore, a 23-year-old woman who died in a car accident there 5 years prior. How could a 5-year-old girl in England, who had never been to Spain, know all these details? This is not the only case of its kind. Professor Ian Stevenson from the University of Virginia's Department of Psychology in the US described dozens of similar cases in his books. Professor Stevenson, a highly respected scientist, spent 25 years researching people who remember their past lives, providing convincing evidence for the Buddhist theory of reincarnation. Some argue that the ability to remember past lives could be due to demonic influences. While we may dismiss anything that doesn't fit our beliefs as superstition or ghost stories, these pieces of evidence invite serious reflection and consideration. However, when presenting specific facts to support an idea, we should analyze and understand logically and reasonably, not rely on arbitrary ghost stories and irrational superstitions. Is reincarnation considered a superstition like ghost stories? One dictionary defines superstition as a belief not based on reason or specific facts, associated with magical thinking. If you can show me the research of a scientist who has thoroughly studied and confirmed the existence of ghosts, I might believe that it's not superstition. But the reality is that no scientific study has proven the existence of ghosts, and scientists are generally uninterested in this matter. So I say there is no evidence of ghosts. However, as seen previously, there is plenty of compelling evidence suggesting that reincarnation does indeed occur. Thus, if we believe in reincarnation based on specific facts and scientific evidence, it is not superstition. We should consider and evaluate reincarnation seriously, based on specific information and research, rather than dismissing it irrationally. Are there scientists who believe in reincarnation? Thomas Huxley, who brought science into the education system in English schools in the 19th century and was the first scientist to defend Darwin's theory, believed that reincarnation was a completely rational idea. In his famous book Evolution and Ethics and Other Essays, he wrote that in the doctrine of the soul's transmigration, regardless of its origin, the logic of the Brahmanists and Buddhists provides a coherent means of addressing this issue and creating a unified view of the universe in relation to human life. This explanation is as reasonable as any other, and only those who think hastily would dismiss it as irrational. Like the theory of evolution, the theory of soul reincarnation arises from the real world and is supported by deductive reasoning. Professor Gustav Stromberg, a renowned Swedish astronomer and physicist and a friend of Einstein, also found the theory of reincarnation compelling. He wrote that there are many opinions regarding whether the human soul can reincarnate and return to Earth. In 1936, a remarkable case was investigated in India. In 1936, a highly notable case was investigated and thoroughly reported by Indian authorities. A child named Shanti Devi in the capital Delhi was able to describe details of her past life in Mathura, located 500 miles from Delhi. This past life had ended about a year before she was born in her current life. She provided the name of her husband and children from her previous life, described her home, and recounted her lifestyle. Members of the investigation committee took her to meet her previous life's family members, who confirmed that all her statements were true. In India, stories of reincarnation like this are often considered commonplace, but what was remarkable in this case was the depth of the girl's memory. Cases like this, and similar ones, could be regarded as clear evidence supporting the inherent nature of the doctrine that memory is not entirely destroyed. Scientific support for reincarnation. Professor Julian Huxley, a renowned British scientist and the first Director General of UNESCO, also believed that the theory of reincarnation aligns well with scientific thinking. He remarked, "Nothing prevents the transmission of individual consciousness after death, similar to a wireless message transmitted from a broadcasting station. However, it is essential to remember that a wireless message only becomes a message when it encounters a suitable receiver. Similarly, our consciousness is transmitted in the same way. It cannot think or feel unless it reincarnates into a body. Our personality depends on the body we inhabit, so it is unimaginable that life would only be pure sensations without a body." He believed that something is transmitted to each individual, similar to the relationship of a wireless message with its transmitter. However, in this case, death appears as a disassembly of various patterns, endlessly wandering through the universe until it reconnects with consciousness by interacting with something akin to a radio receiver in the mind. Even individuals with a practical mindset, such as the American industrialist Henry Ford, found the concept of reincarnation acceptable. He embraced reincarnation not for monotheistic or materialistic reasons. He believed it offers us a new opportunity to perfect ourselves. The Buddhist theory of reincarnation is supported by scientific evidence and logical coherence. For a long time, it has provided satisfactory answers to questions that other theories struggle to address. Reincarnation, a source of hope and patience. Reincarnation gives us peace and comfort rather than the despair of a one-time life with no second chance. It opens the door for us to amend the mistakes made in life and gives more time to develop the skills we have nurtured. According to the Buddha, if we do not reach nirvana in this life, we will have the chance to strive for it in another. If we make mistakes in this life, we can correct them in the next, learning from past errors and continuously improving ourselves. What we have yet to accomplish or achieve in this life can be completed in future reincarnations. This truly is a wonderful teaching, offering hope and encouraging patience in everyone. In the Buddha's teachings, each life is an opportunity to learn, correct mistakes, and come closer to nirvana. No matter how many difficulties or setbacks we encounter, there is always a chance to start again and improve ourselves. This hope inspires patience and perseverance in life. Let us continue to cultivate good virtues, constantly improve ourselves, and move towards a brighter future in the endless cycle of reincarnation. Thank you for watching this video. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel to not miss upcoming videos. wishing you peace and happiness.